think it's time for some basketball. Finally, basketball season here on the Tri-West Sports Network. We welcome you to Tri-West High School for Bruins pregame here tonight. I'm joined by Lane Gibbs to preview tonight's matchup between the Tri-West Bruins and the Decatur Central Hawks. Lane, tell us a little bit about this Decatur Central team. Of course, this is the first game. It'll be off last year, but what did they do last year and how were they?
Yeah, the Decatur Central Hawks, according to last year, since this is opening night for both teams here, were 7-16, finished ranked 68th in Indiana's 4A rankings. Nash Sigmund averaged 9.8 points last year, so look for him. So look for that junior tonight to maybe step up his production a little bit. And senior Elias Zapata averaged 5.3 rebounds per game last year. Another junior to look out for on this Decatur Central Hawks team. And the Hawks are coached by Brian Serber.
So we'll take our first commercial break here tonight, and then we'll be back to recap last night's girls' win. And Lane sat down with Coach Strine earlier tonight.
Welcome back, Tri-West fans. We're gonna start off the year here right with an interview with Coach Strine here before we start tonight's game with Decatur Central. So, Mr. Strine, I mean, obviously there were some struggles during the offseason, bit of bumps in the road, but glad to have you back. What are your feelings going into tonight here for Game 1?
Yeah, honestly, it's just good to be back. Having the brain surgery in April. For me personally, this is it's kind of an emotional night. I wasn't sure where I was going to be in April, and my team kind of got me through it, and we're here. Tonight's a tough task. Like I said, this is probably one of the tougher schedules we've ever had here. Decatur Central is a really good basketball team. Don't let their record fool you from last year. They played some really tight games against a really tough schedule last year, and they returned everybody except one guy. And I would argue that they're better with the new guy in, and so we're gonna have to play really, really well. And I told our guys they put the work in to earn this win. Now they go out and take it.
No, yeah, definitely. And one thing I want to mention, and we're almost kind of back to square one from last year, like kind of a new coach, new team, kind of finding your footing. You're almost back there again. I mean, you've lost a couple of seniors this year, almost kind of another brand new identity. How are you going to tackle that going into tonight's game and throughout this year?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anything's changed as far as our identity or our culture. We, as young as we are, losing those two seniors, we still, everybody is back. We only really have one new guy, Parker Gibson, that came from Lord Central, but everybody here was here last year. So they kind of have like the same idea of what I expect. Our culture is keeps getting stronger. And so, I think that, our challenge this year is just going to be, staying on an upward trend. Last year, I felt like we had our dips and our stuff like that. We don't have any North Montgomerys. We don't have any Frankfurts. We don't have any of those on the schedule anymore this year. So we got to bring our best every night and every day, hit a new ceiling, and that becomes our floor the next day.
All right, sweet. Thank you, Mr. Strine. Look forward here in just a couple hours here to tip off for tonight's game between Tri-West and Decatur Central.
And thanks, guys.
Okay, we'll be back here. I'm Connor Rush, joined by Len Gibbs, back once again here. We're going to break down the game from last night, the girls' game against Cascade. Great win for the Bruins. They started off down 4-0, but then they built it back up, and they won in a huge way. They went 55-27, and they improved to 3-2 on their season. Of course, that team is very young. They only have two seniors on the team. The Bruins will then host the Southmont Mounties this Saturday at 1:30 here at Tri-West.
No, yeah, definitely. Junior guard Ryan Miller would have been the Fleece Performance Player Spotlight that we want to highlight tonight. Last season, Ryan led the team in points with 13.5. He also led the team in assists with 3.1 per game. Look for him to step up to not just tonight, but also this year as him being their star guard.
Another player to focus on tonight will be Jackson Paris, the other junior. They have a lot of juniors. Of course, they have no seniors on this team this year, which is very interesting to see. So a young team, the Bruins, they'll keep everybody for next year. We'll take one final commercial break, and then we'll get into the game picks and meet our guest picker. Okay, you'll be back here for our game picks. Our guest picker for the second time is Mr. Ross.
Thank you for having me, guys.
So, Lane, would you like to get us into our first game?
No, yeah, I would love to. So our first game for tonight is a conference game here for the Tri-West Bruins in the new Hoosiers Legends Conference. It's Morristown versus Triton Central. Triton Central finished 16-10 last season, and Morristown finished 10-13. These two teams faced off to open last season as well, and the Triton Central Tigers took away a 64-35 win. The Tigers will travel to Tri-West. They'll come here December 12th to play the Bruins. But I think Triton Central's got this one pretty easily, kind of like last year. I got them winning 58-41.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way. I mean, Morristown, I don't know much about them. I know Triton Central is good. I'm going to take Triton Central here 65-39.
Well, guys, I always know one thing, and that is when you have a 44-year veteran on the sidelines, the old cowboy who's an Indiana basketball Hall of Famer through and through, and Mark James, you can bet on him like you can bet on the house. And since he's in his third year now at Triton Central, I'll take the Tigers also. Matter of fact, I'll go 60-45.
Okay. Next conference game will be Indian Creek and Franklin Community. Indian Creek finished last year 11-11, right at 500. Franklin Community finished 8-4 last year. Disappointing season for them. These two teams also faced off to open the season last year, just as Triton Central Morristown did. But Franklin Community held a close game, 58-57 finish. The Braves will travel to Tri-West on December 6th. That'll be a doubleheader with the girls. I think Indian Creek, I'm taking them. I'm taking them 60-55.
Now, I know I'm kind of not on the same boat as you there, Connor. I know Indian Creek, they always, across all sports, they always bring a strong program to every sport they come to. But I think Franklin Community, they're going to show a bit of flash, since they're the Flashes.
Yeah.
Get it? It's pretty funny. But I think they're going to pull this one out 52-49.
Now you sold me on the humor. I got a feeling. I think Franklin Community is going to get it done. I bet it goes to overtime, though. Matter of fact, I'll take Franklin Community 71-68 overtime win over Indian Creek.
Giving them a flash of hope there, Mr. Ross.
I just got a feeling.
But that takes us to our next game, Monrovia and Eminence. Monrovia finished 6-17 last season, a bit of a disappointing year for them. And Eminence, almost in a similar boat, finishing one game worse at 6-18. These two teams also faced off to open last year, and the Bulldogs took a 55-31 win. The Bulldogs will come here on February 10th, so a bit later in the year, to play them for conference play. For this game, I think Monrovia, they're going to get the season started off right. I think they're going to win this one 55-30 and be a pretty handily win over Eminence.
Yeah, I think the same thing. I'm taking them a little bit. I mean, same score basically, 50-35.
I was going to say, I think it's somewhere in the same neighborhood. Monrovia 60-40.
Okay, Beech Grove, Greenfield Central. Another conference game here. Beech Grove finished last year 8-17. Greenfield Central finished 23-4 last year. Great season for them. These two teams faced off to open the season last year, with Greenfield Central taking a decisive 62-38 win. Beech Grove will host the Tri-West Bruins 2 days before Christmas on December 23rd. Now, looking at last year's records, I think that Greenfield Central will win. I think it'll be closer than what it was last year. So I'm going to take Greenfield Central here, 65-45.
Kind of in a similar boat to you there, Connor, but I think it's going to be a bit of a more distant win. I think Greenfield Central, I feel like they're going to be a great team, another great team this year. I got them winning 70-42 over Beech Grove.
Greenfield Central is now trying to experience life after Mr. Basketball, and Braden Mullins, who's now at UConn, and they're expecting big contributions out of him. Yet I still think that Greenfield Central's got enough. 64-47 over the Hornets.
And that takes us to our final game of the night, and the one we all want to watch here at home, Tri-West versus Decatur Central. The Bruins had a stellar season than most thought, finishing 18-7 and sweeping the conference, or the last year of the Sagamore Conference at 7-0 with first-year head coach Tommy Strine. Decatur Central finished 7-16 last year, so pretty much on the opposite side of the spectrum as the Bruins. Bruins are looking to get a great second consecutive season, starting to get this thing started off right. But again, we're almost kind of back to a square one here. I mean, we lost 2 seniors in Eli Morgan and Caden Murphy, deciding to not return to the team this year. And we're going to have to see a lot more guys step up, almost in the same case we did last year. Kind of like me and you were talking about when we walked in. We had Jackson Paris. He's shown some flashes. Ryan Miller, we know he's good. Another guy I want everyone to watch out for this year, Daniel Thomas, going to have a breakout year. I think he's going to be right up there with Ryan Miller. We're going to have 2 3-star power guards in that backcourt. But no, to finish off this predictions here, I got the Bruins. Granted, Coach Giant said don't take these Hawks for granted. This is a very good team with a very tough schedule, similar boat to the Bruins. But I think the Bruins are going to pull this one out 55-39.
Now, before I make my pick, I do want to point out that I saw on social media, I think a couple weeks ago, Tyrese Halliburton gave these guys his new Halley shoes.
Yes,
which
indeed.
is really cool to see that Tyrese Halliburton giving back to the community of Indianapolis.
Absolutely.
I'm still taking the Bruins here. Tri-West 45, Decatur Central 35.
Well, you know, Coach Serber has been there now. This is his 5th year as the head coach, but he's been there 21 years. He's coached at every level. Matter of fact, he graduated, and then as he went off to college, he came back and coached. So he has been there forever. That being said, he's got a program that last year went through a lot of growing pains with a lot of young people. They've got some seniors this year, and they will be a tough ball club. There's just something about this Tri-West ball club, though. They are tough. And, yes, there is no seniors playing, but you have a ton of juniors and sophomores that got experience last year as freshmen and sophomores. So it's at home. Give me the Bruins. I'll take the let's growl and let's take the Bruins about 67-55.
Sure, I'm sure that score will go over well with the kids.
Yes.
Yeah. I had to get that joke on there. Okay, we know Saturday, last weekend of the regular season for college football. We have the game in Ann Arbor between Michigan and Ohio State.
OHNO.
Real game Friday night.
Yeah.
Important game
You
Friday
have
night.
the Lone Star Showdown Friday night in Austin.
No, that's not the game.
I think it has something to do with your jersey.
Yeah, what about the Old Oaken Bucket?
The Old Oaken Bucket is Friday night.
Probably the 100th time these two teams will face off on the gridiron. Probably the most historic game of the state of Indiana. Of course, for the first time, really, it's getting national attention. NBC will cover it on Friday. Last year, the Hoosiers hosted the Boilermakers, won 66-0. But Purdue leads the all-time series 77-43 and 6. Will it even be close? No. IU 75, Purdue 7.
And that's from a Purdue fan there, folks. That's a very big thing to say. I'm a Hoosier through and through. Shout out Dad, Mama, home. This one ain't going to be close. I might fall asleep before the end. Mendoza's brother's probably going to get in there. He's going to look like a Heisman candidate like his own brother. I got IU winning this one. No doubts in my mind. 72-14. It's not close.
Guys, I grew up in a household where we had to cheer for both because IU and Purdue both played on Channel 4 back in the day, and if we could both cheer for both teams, then we got to watch a game every night. Like one game was on Tuesday night, one game was on Wednesday night, then the team played on Thursday. So we cheered for both.
Yeah.
That being said, IU and this resurgence has just been magical and amazing. But I don't know that they'll put 70 on them. I mean, that seems a bit much. How about 56-7? The weather's not going to be all that great. They're going to be in West Lafayette. You got to take care of guys here at the end of the season. If you're going to get ready for a Big Ten championship, I think 56-7 is plenty of points to win that thing out.
Now, speaking of that Big Ten championship, Ohio State's going to win it.
I also want to say for IU game, Elijah Surratt is coming back. I'm just going to throw that in there.
What?
Most important thing to get to tonight is
Thanksgiving.
That is very true. Thanksgiving is coming up. We want to say on behalf of all of us at Tri-West Sports Network here before we get in there, happy Thanksgiving tomorrow night. We wish you all the best and a very safe Thanksgiving. But for our final pick, it's not teams, it's food.
Yeah.
And we all love food. Am I right? So mine, I'm usually kind of a big eater. I kind of bounce around here and there, but no one's touching my mac and cheese and mashed potatoes. That's picks 1 and 2. That's an auto lock.
Yeah, I'm taking mac and cheese too. It is the best.
Well, I'm old school. So for me, it starts with the stuffing and the bird. If you can't get stuffing, Then you got to go green bean casserole. And, of course, you can't forget the turkey.
Yeah.
So any of the three are my favorites. I think stuffing's my favorite because you don't rarely have it except for during Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So give me the stuffing.
Yeah. What about pumpkin pie?
What about it? It's great.
Yeah.
It's
I
spectacular.
probably should have put that on my list too. I'd put one. I probably should have put two.
Exactly. Amazing.
Yeah.
An apple pie.
Oh, I love apple pie.
And I know we'll have cheesecake at the Thanksgiving I'm going to. So, I mean, we're going to have it all.
Yeah.
I can't stop myself. The waistline tells you that.
Oh, that's all for the pregame show.
Well, yeah, that'll do us here for the desk of the pregame show. We thank you guys for tuning in. Bit of a corny one tonight, but we all wish you the best and a happy Thanksgiving here. But thank you guys for tuning in. You'll see me and Mr. Ross there inside the field house at the desk here in just a few minutes, getting ready for your pregame for tonight's game. But thank you all for watching, and we'll see you in a